The Journey series is for people navigating closed doors, unexpected detours, and seasons of uncertainty while learning to trust God's plans. Have you ever noticed that God will show you just enough to take the next step, but not the whole staircase? He does not give you enough information to let you know what's next after you take that first step. I know this is something true in my life. This is something I have seen repeatedly do time and time again, where God is taking me somewhere, but he's only giving me very small instructions and I don't see the full picture. There was a time when I was praying for a home. I needed more space. I needed peace. I needed a fresh start. And somehow I was met with obstacles, blind spots, denials, uncertainty, frustration, before God even opened up the door for me. As I'm going through all of this simultaneously, God is leading me to a brand new home in a state that I had no intentions on moving to, in an environment that I had no knowledge of. All of this was happening as I was in the midst of the storm. And God was just telling me, I gave you the instructions for the next step, take the next step. And while I was battling my flesh, because although I knew what God was telling me, because of the uncertainty behind it, I didn't really know what to do. I'm like, okay, well, God, you said do this, but then what? What happens after that? And doesn't it seem like when you're really trying to get questions answered from God, he kind of just goes silent? Think back to in the Bible when Jesus was on the boat with the disciples. In the midst of the storm, they're panicking. And in the midst of the storm, Jesus was sleeping. In times like that, you don't know what to do, right? But we do know that God will never leave us nor forsake us. So what do? We continue on the path, even during moments of uncertainty, just taking one step after the next, knowing that it's going to lead to our destination, knowing that we are closer than we think. No matter how hard it seems as you're climbing up the steps, you are getting closer and closer each step. Maybe that's where God has you right now. Maybe he showed you a promise, but he did not tell you the entire path. Maybe you feel like you're almost there. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, just for you to walk around that corner and it just seems like, whoa, I thought the end was near. I thought I was so close. And then you realize, like, I really have a whole lot of work to do. Like, I'm further than I expected. And when you're frustrated and you're asking for details and God is only giving you directions, it can feel like a slap to the face, because it's like, are you ignoring me, God? Do you want to see me lost and confused? But you know, everything God does is intentional, right? So, what if God is not showing us the whole staircase because he wants us to trust him? He wants us to take one step at a time. Looking back, that was exactly my reality. Because as God was giving me the house that I needed, the house that I prayed for, the space that I prayed for, the peace that I prayed for, he did not tell me what was going to follow after that, right? He wanted me to take one step at a time. And that's the same way God is going to work in your life. You know, whenever you look back, once you get out of this season, you'll be able to see that this was not punishment. He was teaching you dependence. God was teaching you to trust him. He was teaching you that he is the provider. And not the provider of one time. He is the provider over and over and over and over. So each time he puts you in a season, he wants you to understand you may not have it all. You may not know what your next step is going to be, but he knows. So if he's asking you to take that next leap, take that next step, start that new thing, you may not know where it's going to go. You may not know what the purpose of it is. But if you follow his plan, you will never be led astray. You know, every level we get to, we're going to have a new devil, a new obstacle, a new hurdle we're going to have to get over, right? God's not going to tell you about that, because sometimes if we knew what was going to come after the blessing, we wouldn't even want the blessing. So, for example, in my situation, God was opening up the doors for me to have a brand new home. So I'm like, wow, this is amazing. No one in my family are homeowners. More specifically, no one has ever had a new construction home. But what God did not tell me that was going to follow after that is my lack of income. I'm going to be financially dependent on the Lord to meet all my needs. I had to take a step back and start observing my life from like a bird eye view, right? What is God doing in my life? Where is He taking me? And that type of surrender, you have to have some real strength to be able to handle it, because if you do not, you can self-sabotage. You can stay stagnant. You can go back to something that God was already pulling you from. But when you just sit back and just allow God to be God, you will understand one day why everything happened. You know, sometimes no matter how stressful it is, when you sit back and you realize that every time you start taking things into your own hands, it does not work out. So sometimes God has already created a staircase for you, right? But He's telling you to take step by step. But because it's too slow paced, because it's too unfamiliar, because it's uncertainty, you don't know if there's turns in the staircase, you don't know how far the staircase goes, you don't know where the staircase is going to lead you. You'd rather not even go on that staircase, right? You don't want to go on that journey. So what do? You create your own staircase. And then what happens when we create our own stuff outside of God's will? It's not going to be long-standing, and there will be no fruit. Remember, God is always going to show you the promise, but He's not going to show you the journey. He's not going to give you that amount of details. But if you can keep the promise at the forefront of your mind, no matter which way you turn, no matter how many ups and downs, no matter how long it takes, you know where you're going. And knowing that will give you a little bit of faith to keep holding on in the times where you feel like you want to give up. And for anyone wondering, why would God allow you to feel these emotions? It almost sounds like He's trying to create confusion, right? Because He's not giving you details. He's not making something seem clear. So it seems like He's trying to confuse you. And that is not the case. He doesn't want you to get comfortable. So He does the things that He does, because if you were comfortable, then what would be the purpose of Him? He needs you to find comfort in Him. So that's why He kind of breadcrumbs you, giving you just enough so that you'll be able to take the next step, but not enough for you to be able to walk up the staircase completely without Him. You need Him to guide you. We think we need all the answers. We need to have everything figured out. We need to have a plan from A to Z. And God's never going to allow that to happen. He is the living water. The water that gives us life. The water that gives this planet life. The water that no one is able to live without. He is the fountain of youth. If you are standing at the bottom of the staircase in your life right now, and you're wondering why God hasn't shown you anything outside of that next step, maybe it's because He never intended for you to carry the whole journey. He's asking you to take it step by step. Trust Him with your next step. Trust Him with your tomorrow. Trust Him with the things that you cannot see. Because the same God who showed you the promise already, He knows what's waiting around the corner. And it's going to blow your mind. You're going to be so happy that you was obedient. You took that next step. Because God has things in store for you. He wants to do so much. He wants to take you to a whole nother level. But in this season, it's going to require obedience. Being strategic and being obedient. And staying silent and calm in the unknown. As humans, we are very inquisitive. We are a very inquisitive people. We like to know things. And that's good. But sometimes knowing too much can be a fault. Because if you know too much, you may not make certain decisions. And although there are going to be challenges that you will have to overcome, God is not wanting you to worry about that right now. Your focus is on getting to your promised land, getting the promise that God has for you. I hope that this series is going to bless you. This is really me speaking from my heart. God put this series on my heart to do. Not only is this healing me, I hope that I'm able to heal you from the inside out.